Good afternoon, participants. Sorry, please, we are waiting for other participants to join before we commence this session, please. Kindly bear with us and be patient with us. Thank you.
The citadel of learning where great leaders are made. Fed Polyeden. We are the first among equals, raising great scholars to change the world, leading the way to all-round success. On knowledge, skills, and character we stand. Fed Polyeden. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Fed Polyeden. Vocational skill is our watchword. Proficiency in technical training. Fed Polyeden. Giving the best on technical education, paving ways for discovery of talents, diverse training on entrepreneurship. Stand on your feet and rise to the skies. Fed Polyeden. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Fed Polyeden. The citadel of learning where great leaders are made. Fed Polyeden. We are the first among equals, raising great scholars to change the world, leading the way to all-round success. On knowledge, skills, and character we stand. Fed Polyeden. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Fed Polyeden. Vocational skill is our watchword. Proficiency in technical training. Fed Polyeden. Giving the best on technical education, paving ways for discovery of talents, diverse training on entrepreneurship. Stand on your feet and rise to the skies. Fed Polyeden. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Fed Polyeden.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you all to this afternoon session. Our chairman of this technical session is actually here with us live. He's the one we are seeing on our second screen is Dr. Adebisi. He's a chief lecturer in the Department of Accountancy, a former director of academic planning. He will be the chair of today's afternoon technical session. We will not waste our time further. We are 7 minutes behind schedule. I will take Mr. Bello Mohammed. I can see Mr. Bello Mohammed. Thank God for this schedule that you are on. You're actually talking about the impact of personal income tax on internally generated revenue in Kwara State of Nigeria. And the chairman of this technical session is actually a guru in that regard. I believe you have a thorough observation that your paper actually deserves. Mr. Bello Mohammed, you can unmute yourself and make your presentation. You have 7 minutes. Kindly, please ensure that your presentation is abridged in nature, centering on the introduction of your name and your institutional affiliation, your background, your statement problem, objective if you have, your finding, methodology, findings, conclusion, and recommendation. Those are the things that we expect you to give us. Thank you. You can start your presentation now, sir. Thank you. You can unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, please, and start your presentation.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, please.
Yes, sir. My name is Bello Mohammed. Here to present the impact of personal income tax on internally generated revenue in Kwara State of Nigeria. It is the responsibility of every government to render provision of security infrastructure facilities and service to the citizen. Such service include healthcare service, education, among others. Revenue generation is essential component of public sector financial management. The focus point on these studies will be on pay as you earn, payee, and direct assessment, which is DA in Kwara State of Nigeria. One of the greatest challenges facing Kwara State since its creation is the low internally generated revenue based on the state. It is true that the problem of lack of financial capacity, it is not peculiar to Kwara State alone. The problem is more acute in Kwara State because of the nearest absence of industry and parastatals in the state. The objective of the study, the main objective of the study is to examine the impact of personal income tax on internally generated revenue in Kwara State. The specific objectives are: 1, examine the effect of pay as you earn on internally generated revenue in Kwara State. Research question for that is: to what extent of pay as you earn has affected internally generated revenue in Kwara State? The research hypothesis to it is pay as you earn has no significant effect on internally generated revenue in Kwara State. Now, chapter 2 divides into 3. We have conceptual review, which is the concept of the revenue, and theoretical review and empirical review. The study adopted 2 theories. The first theory is ability to pay theory, and the second one is pay picking or other theory. The ability to pay theory stated that tax should be based on the ability to pay. That is, those who have more should pay more tax. Now, hello, sir.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
Hello. Ole.
Go ahead,
The
please.
conclusion and recommendation, due to the time factor, the conclusion based on the result of the analysis carried out on the impact of personal income tax on internally generated revenue in Kwara State of Nigeria for a 4-year period from 2016 to 2019. The study finds that pay as you earn has significantly and positively contribute to internally generated revenue in Kwara State, while the direct assessment has insignificantly and negatively contributed to internally generated revenue in Kwara State during the study period. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Let me quickly hand you over to the chairman of this technical session to actually make observations on your presentation.
Hello, my chairman, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bello.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm Dr. Ibrahim Adebisi, Chief Lecturer in the Department of Accountancy, Federal Polytechnic. Thank you for your
Thank you, sir. Nice to meet you, sir.
And the effort taken to carry out the study. I also commend you on the abstract that you have presented and the body of the work. However, I have some observations which I will expect you to improve upon. On the abstract, based on the latest edition, which is 7th edition, the abstract is not supposed to be in italics and should be double line spacing. Also, I discovered from the body of the work that the references you made are not so current as such. It's better you improve on the references. You lay your hands on latest journals and write-ups on the topic. This is a topic, and there are a series of researches being carried out on it currently. So you need to improve on that, the references. Looking at your abstract, you stipulated that you use regression analysis, but on getting to your data analysis, I discovered that you only presented the data there, which has to do with the revenue heads amount, and also that of 2018, 2016, 2018, and you presented also the budgeted and actual achievement for the period. So no analysis was actually carried out with respect to the regression you mentioned in your abstract. So I expect that this should be done to enrich your write-up. And also you should expand it on your discussion on your results. With the references also, the reference will also be in double line spacing. That's the reference at the end of the write-up should be in double line spacing. Once again,
thank you, sir.
Please take note of the observations.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I don't know whether we
Thank you,
have
sir.
contributions from members, from participants on the Zoom platform, and answers from those that are on Zoom. And for our members on our YouTube channel, you can actually drop questions on the comment box. We'll take them. In the absence of that, if you have questions, you can please raise hand so that we'll take you ask questions on the presentation. If you have anything to share on the presentation. Without that, I have two people here. The second paper is presented by Dr. James Akinlolufajimi, and the paper is titled impact of internal control mechanisms on fraud prevention in the polytechnics in southwestern Nigeria. The paper is to be presented by Dr. Fajimi. Fajimi is still trying to get in touch with us here. Can I take, I'm having, the next paper is for Ile Mobayo S. Akinwumi and Iteme Gospel Godwin. I can have the two people on Zoom now. Can I please know who will be presenting? Can I know the person that will be making the presentation, please? So that that person can take charge while we wait for Dr. Fajimi. Mr. Akinwumi, Ile Mobayo, and Mr. Iteme Gospel, the two of you has been requested to unmute yourselves. You can unmute yourself while we ask you who will be making your presentation, please. You can unmute yourselves, please, while we ask who will actually make the presentation between the two parties, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Will you be making the presentation, sir?
Yes.
Go ahead, sir. Your name is Mr. Ile Mobayo S. Akinwumi. You have to present a paper titled Impact of Security Challenges on Bank Performance in Nigeria. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Can I be allowed to share my screen?
Yes. Sorry, please. I'll get to you in no distant time, please. I'll get to you in no distant time. Mr. Ile Mobayo, you can go ahead and share your slide, please, and make your presentation in an abridged fashion, sir, so that we'll maximize our time. You can go ahead and share the slide. Thank you.
Sure. Good afternoon, sirs. Good afternoon, sirs.
Good afternoon, please. You can go ahead. You're live. We can hear you. Good afternoon,
okay.
Please.
I'm Mr. Ile Mobayo Akinwumi Simeon from Lagos State Polytechnic, Ikorodu. And the title of our paper is The Impact of Security Challenges on Bank Performance in Nigeria. Introduction. Commercial activity thrives in a conducive and friendly business environment where lives and practice are guaranteed and secured. And as we know, the economic prosperity of a nation is a function of the level of peace and the practice of the rule of law. On the other hand, security challenges retards economic and social activities and always impact negatively on corporate performance, both in the public and the private sector. And the summary is that insecurity, more often than not, leads to business failure. And banking subsector of the economy is not isolated from the pervasive security challenges that we are witnessing in Nigeria today. We have our statement of problem, insecurities. Can you hear me, sir?
Go ahead, please.
Okay,
go ahead, please. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Affect lives and livelihood. And it's cut across all geopolitical zones in Nigeria. Talk about Northwest, Northeast, South, all of the zones in Nigeria have had a fair share of the insecurity that we are currently experiencing in Nigeria. and the attendant consequences of insecurity are grave for the economy. And we know that economic poverty is a primary cause of conflict and crisis globally. And security also challenges worsen the unemployment situation in a country, especially Nigeria. And due to this insecurity we have been witnessing, a lot of businesses have closed down. Objectives of the study. The study's objectives are to examine the relationship between security challenges and the performance of banks in Nigeria. Also, we try to investigate the impact of a growing federal government security spending on the performance of banks in the country. Our research methodology. The paper uses empirical analysis with secondary data that cover 2000 and 2020. The data was sourced from the CBS Statistical Bulletin and the National Bureau of Statistics. We use a partially scaled structural equation model to analyze the data. We have a model specification. Our independent variable is security challenges, and which is represented or proxy by the federal government security spending, which comprises budget allocation to defense and internal security. Our dependent variables of bank performance is proxy by total asset, total loans and advances, liquidity ratio, and loan to deposit ratio. So we go to findings now because of the time constraints. I'll go to findings. We found out that economic poverty is a primary cause of conflict and crisis globally. The high level of unemployment, especially among the youth, is a major contributing factor to the pervasive insecurity being witnessed in the country today. Our research findings also reveal that increased public security expenditure, there has been an increased public security expenditure by the government. Also, we find that productive sectors are deprived of public funds with adverse implications on banks with high incidences of loan defaults. And also we found out that economic sectors have suffered, particularly agriculture, in the Middle Belt with the consequence of food shortage. Security challenges as weakened also bank loan portfolio.
Mr. Ali, kindly talk to us on your recommendations so that we'll
Okay, we have the following
recommendations.
There should be effective institutional framework to strengthen the delivery capacity of all security agencies in the country. Also, there should be a stricter measure to manage the porous borders of this country, where arms are brought in droves. There should also be proactive measure to curtail the problem of security, especially through creation of employment opportunity for the youth. Governments should also establish branches to curb the constant conflicts between herdsmen and farmers. Governments also should put in place programs and policies that are geared towards substantial reduction of poverty among the citizens.
Thank you very much, sir, Mr. Ali Mubaya. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you. Let me observe you here while I hand you over to the technical chairman to make observations on your presentation. The chairman, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ali Mubaya. I'm Dr. Ibrahim Adebisi, Chief Lecturer in the Department of Accountancy, Federal Polytechnic. Thanks for the presentation. It's a very good topic. My observations from here, your abstract is very okay. But the abstract Like I said, the abstract should have been centralized in the course of the presentation. That is your abstract. It's okay, it's double line, the current one, that it should be centralized. Then I also advise that with such a robust topic, ensure you research more on current development, most especially references of happenings of recent that have impacted negatively on the bank performances to be stressed. Also, the other areas, apart from government intervention, there are some other areas where security challenges are also being handled. That area should also be touched to ensure that it's not only government that is about the security, is taking care of the security, it's also the responsibility of the generality to also be stressed. Like I said, the paper is okay, and the references are okay, the citations are also okay, that ensure the current happenings, current researches are taken into consideration. Thanks so much.
Mr. Elimubaya, I hope all those observations are actually not. So you can actually make necessary corrections and possibly submit the paper for assessment and possible publication in the next edition of our journal. Then thank you very much for that presentation, sir. God bless you.
Sir.
Then I would like to call on Dr. Fajimi. Dr. Fajimi, you can unmute yourself and make your presentation now. Dr. Fajimi, please. Dr. Fajimi, you can unmute yourself and make your presentation now.
Unmute.
Thank you. We can have you now. You can as well share your video so that we'll have your visuals for our YouTube channel for viewers. For those that are viewing us on YouTube, so that we can have, you can share us your video. Thank you, sir. You can have presentation, sir. You have 7 minutes, sir. Make your presentation in an abridged format, taking cognizance of your name, your background.
Good afternoon, sir.
Everyone, your
the coordinator and the
findings, conclusion, and recommendations. Those are the things that we expect that you give us in an abridged version. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The moderator and the coordinator, sir. I'm Dr. J. Fajimi, a lecturer in the Department of Accountancy, Federal Polytechnic, Eden. I want to present a paper titled Impact of Internal Control Mechanism on Fraud Prevention in the Polytechnic in Southwestern Nigeria. Polytechnic, as we know, are part of tertiary institutions, and tertiary institutions are post-secondary institutions. And like other organizations, they have objectives to achieve, and to achieve the objective, financial and material resources are needed. In the tertiary institution like Polytechnic, we have fees that are collected, government subvention, owners subvention, and so on. Any act of misusing of resources can hinder the attainment of objective. And through fraud, the resources that are gathered for the attainment of objective can be, vandalized. Improper management of resources can hinder the attainment of objective. What is fraud? Fraud is a deliberate act or failure to act with the objective of obtaining unauthorized benefit. Human being what we are always interested in obtaining unauthorized benefit. Fraud is an act of deceiving people. When people are deceived, easily one can dupe them. Anything can happen. There are two parties to every fraudulent activity: the perpetrator and the victim. The perpetrator always misrepresents facts for the victim to be caught. What I mean is, when facts are misrepresented to the victim and he or she is not aware, easily he can be duped. Until fraudulent activity is completed, the victim is not aware, may or may not be aware of the plan of the perpetrator. In Nigeria, fraud is a criminal activity. That's why we have agencies like EFCC, ICPC, and other security agents to handle cases to handle cases of fraud. Internal control is necessary to put activities on track. People are always interested in doing things the way they like. But what we need to put activities on track is internal control. Human beings are just slightly different from motor vehicles.
Dr. Fajimi, kindly skip to the part where we have your methodology, findings, conclusion, and recommendations, please, sir, so that we'll save our time. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, so thank you. Let me skip to that area and let me go to that area. For methodology, sir, I used Osun State, Southwestern Nigeria as example. The study I conducted was conducted in 3 different types of polytechnic: Federal Polytechnic, State Polytechnic, and private polytechnic. I used Federal Polytechnic, Osun State Poly, and the Polytechnic College of Technology, Redeemer College of Technology in Maui. For the for the sampling technique, I use purposive sampling. Out of the 3 polytechnic, I discovered that 180 people are working in the 3 different units: registry, bursary, and internal audit. I use all of them because they are not so large. The population is not so large. I didn't select sample. Out of 180 respondents, 165 out of 180 selected respondents, 165 people feel questionnaire are submitted. Therefore, the response rate was 91.66. Now, on the first objective, which is the internal control in polytechnic system, I look at 3 different areas: the control environment, risk assessment, control activities, and information and communication. In the area of control environment, I discovered that things are okay. The control measures in place are okay. Then for the risk assessment, except for the annual audit that is not regularly conducted, other things are okay. Then for the control activities, the level of competence of staff of internal audit is not, I discovered, is not capable of giving.
Dr. Fajimi, can we have your recommendations, please? Can we have your recommendations?
Let me go to the recommendations. For the recommendations, I have 5 here. The first one is that leaders in the polytechnic and other institutions should be given adequate training. It's like, because of their academic attainments, people look at them as if they know everything. They need training on internal control. The employee should always do away with conflict of interest. People, and that's that is the main thing that usually lead to fraud. The leaders, they want to achieve their objective at all time. Their love for money, they want to achieve it at all costs. The regular communication, there has to be regular communication between head of tertiary institution and staff members. In some schools, I discovered decisions are just taken without any consultation with the followers. That is not good enough. Appointment of people into tertiary institutions should not be based on politics. We should look beyond the political affiliation in the appointment of leaders in tertiary institutions. The welfare of workers in the institution should be given to be made to be paramount. This is because it is not the only leader it's not only the leaders that are fraudulent in the activity. Other staff members too are in the habit of committing fraud. People are not really satisfied with what they are earning. So those are the 5 objectives. Welfare of workers in the institution should be given priority. Then appointment of people into key posts in tertiary institution or say polytechnic should not be based on political affiliation or ability. Then regular communication between head of tertiary institution and their follower is necessary to at least carry them along. Employees should be encouraged to always do away with conflicts of interest. That's the main area where what
Dr. Fajimi, thank you for your presentation. Let me quickly hand you over to the technical chairman to do justice to your papers, your paper you have submitted. Kindly note all the observations that will be raised so that you can make necessary corrections, please. Thank you. The chairman, sir.
Good afternoon, Dr. Fajimi. I'm Dr. Ibrahim Adebisi, Department of Accountancy, Federal Polytechnic Ede. Thanks for the beautiful presentation. The topic is okay, with minor adjustments. Where you put Southwestern, why can't we put it Southwest? Southwest Nigeria. So that is that. The paper is well researched into, so voluminous. I also advise that the pages are too much, and the write-up should at least reasonably be between 15 to 18 pages. So please take note of that. You can just perfect on it to ensure that it's not more than between 15 to 18 pages. Also, with respect to the abstract, the current edition of the APA, which is the 7th edition, stipulates double line spacing and then not in italics. So then to the topic and the body of the write-up, you mentioned something about internal control and fraud. I will expect that the fraud should be well defined, that it should be specific about what type of fraud are you researching into. Take, for instance, in an institution like this, you can talk about other fraud. Talking about, is it academic fraud? So you should, in your objective, should be specifically stated. Because we are, if I can refer you to your empirical review that you have stated here, most of the empirical cited dealt with industries like banks, like manufacturing companies, and mainly they are financial, and they also carry out their research within the finance department. In your case here, you carry out your research under the bursary, audit, and the registry. The registry there suggests another type of fraud, though it may be financial, but not so significant. So the higher institution you mentioned, the tertiary institution you mentioned in your empirical review, if you look at that empirical review, the research was carried out in the bursary and the audit. So, in your own issue here, if there is any reason whatsoever to extend your research to the registry, should be specific. And whether financial or other form of fraud we want to talk about, it should be stated. That I think you are specifically intend to refer to financial fraud. That is just the main observation. Then under your recommendation, it's like you are concluding there, and you are concluding and making recommendation. So what is expected under conclusion is the summary of your analysis, your summary of what you have carried out, what you have done, what do you conclude? So not concluding under the you should not recommend under the conclusion. Recommendation should be separated. So you actually make a recommendation, but under your conclusion, you are recommending there. So please take note of that and deal with the conclusion per se, which is the summary of your findings. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hope Dr. Fajimi has taken note of all those observations raised. So for possible correction, thank you, sir. Thank you for presenting this afternoon as well. God bless you. Let me, on this note, call on Mr. Jimo Oladosu Balogun. Mr. Jimo Oladosu Balogun will be presenting a paper titled Professional Practice of Accounting in Nigeria in times of COVID-19 and insecurity. Mr. Balogun, you can unmute yourself and make your presentation. You have 7 minutes. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
The organizer of the program,
Your audio is crumbling. We cannot get your audio clearly. We are not having good reception of that audio.
What about now?
Yes, go ahead, please. Now. Go ahead now, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead now, sir.
I'm presenting a paper that examines the professional practice of accounting in Nigeria in terms of COVID-19 and the insecurity and the challenges that the professional accountants are facing as regards the effect of COVID-19 on the.
We're still having challenges. We're still having challenges with your audio, please. We're still having challenges with your audio. You can actually help us relocate a bit to where we'll have a good audio coverage.
Okay, let me just move away from there. Okay. What about now? I hope I'm okay now.
Actually.
Okay. The study examined the professional practice of accounting in Nigeria in terms of the COVID-19 and the insecurity that we are having as challenges on the profession at large. The paper is co-authored by 3 other authors. We, the researcher, we used that is called a research science, that is the survey research science that is used in terms of structured questionnaire, which were administered to collect primary data from sample size of 7 respondents, comprising of 4 different firms from selected states and Oyo State. The data were presented and in a tabular format, we analyzed the mean rating and standard deviation as a descriptive statistics. Based on the responses that we got, which was revealed to us that there is an emergency of this COVID-19 in Nigeria at large, and particularly being restricted to our sample design, which is only restricted to Osun and Oyo State. We believe that this COVID-19 pandemic has a greater challenge on the professional vaccine, notably in the year 2020. Before they investigated that the COVID-19 affects what we call it has a significant impact on the accounting practices, notably in the year 2020, like I said, and furthermore, in 2020, it has material uncertainty. That is, the pandemic has a significant materiality effect on the profession, which we believe is very, very uncertain. That is, we cannot quantify what the level of impact in which the kind of effect it has created on the profession at large. And as a result of that, it's raised later concerns about the organization's abilities to continue as a main concern concept. This effect caused a professional accountant to doubt whether the period of COVID-19 lockdown should be reported as a concern or it should be as a period of business situation. This researcher further suggested that a new items of, as a result of this, we further decided that a new items of new items should be incorporated into IFRS. That is the new concept should be added to IFRS, so that we'll be able to identify the potentials, the changes that may occur as a result of this pandemic and its effects in accounting profession in Nigeria at large. And in addition, apart from this, the researcher believes that the organization must prepare interim financial statements that will be able to at least report the consequences of COVID-19 pandemic in the future. And lastly, we have that as a nation, that is Nigeria, we should be able to engage our professionals or experts that will be able to help us in the area of developing what we call peace accounting model that is SPAM that will be able to, which is aimed at measuring the cost of peace that we believe that it has a serious implication in case of national security. That is our major concern. And we believe from our research, from our findings, we discovered that because of the fact that this has a significant impact, we believe that further recommendation that we have suggested will be able to at least assist the accounting profession to be able to
We are still having a scrambled talking from your end. You can go ahead and tell us your recommendation so that we'll hand you over to the chairman of this technical session to make observations on your papers. Thank you.
We because of the fact that we saw that when we carried out the research in our findings, it was notably fulfilled that this pandemic has a greater consequences on the accounting profession. And as a result of that, that was why we now recommended that we should design what we call a professional expert to be able to design what we call peace accounting model that will aim at measuring the cost of peace, since it has implication on national security. Though we believe this cannot be measured, but by engaging the service of professional accountants, they will now design a model that will be able to measure how we can quantify this in such a way that the implication can be quantified maybe monetarily and academically than in the future. This now provide a better solution.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you for your presentation. Let me hand the baton to the chairman of this technical session to do justice to your presentation and your paper in general. Thank you, the chairman, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Balogun. I'm Dr. Ibrahim Adebisi, the Chief Lecturer in the Department of Accountancy, Federal Polytechnic, Ede. Thanks for the beautiful presentation. Let me quickly observe that the paper is well researched into. I appreciate that most of your references here are so current. As one of the things I appreciate here. However, I have a little observations with respect to the topic first. You say professional practice in accounting in Nigeria in times of COVID-19 and insecurity. Well, these are two combined dependent variables. That's COVID-19 and insecurity. So from the analysis you carried out here, you emphasize more on insecurity, I can see. Also, the topic is supposed to be specific. Are you interested in researching into the impact of that accounting practice or the effects of COVID-19 and insecurity on accounting practice? I think the topic should be reframed to reflect the content of that topic. Very reframed. We want to talk about the impact of COVID-19 and insecurity on accounting practice or whatever. So I think please look into that topic very well. Also, with the current upper edition, that is 7th edition, the abstract supposed to be in double line spacing and not in italics. So please take note of that. I also noticed that the objective of this paper is not sufficiently put. That is the reason for carrying out this research. Even if you have identified the gap, the reasons, the general and the specific objectives should be specifically stated. With the references also, to be in line with the current practice, should be in double line spacing as well. So once again, I appreciate your citations. They are okay, and the references are also current. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, the chairman. I hope Balogun has taken note of all those observations raised. You can please help us to take note of those observations, make corrections. You can send your paper back for assessment and possible publication in the next edition of our journal, which will come out soon enough. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation and a good research. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
The next person I'll call now is Mr. Alatuji Daniel. Mr. Alatuji Daniel, you can unmute yourself. Mr. Alatuji Daniel, you can unmute yourself, share your video so that we can have your presentation. Mr. Alatuji Daniel, you can unmute yourself, share your video, and let us have your presentation.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, please. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. My name is Alatuji Daniel. The institution I'm affiliated to is the Okiogun Polytechnic, Shaki. And the title of our paper is Evaluation of Environmental Degradation in Traditional Urban Settlements and Oversight for Sustainable Development, Case of Ijebu-Land. Introduction. There had been a growing concern that environmental degradation has a wide range effect on man's social behavior, and there is a nexus between degradation and achieving of sustainable development globally. This paper aimed at evaluating environmental degradation in traditional urban settlements and assesses its oversight for sustainable urban development, taking Ijebu-Land in southwest Nigeria as a case study. Descriptive survey method with the use of questionnaire as instrument of data collection to appraise the research phenomenon was employed. A total of 420 respondents were randomly selected and interviewed, which represents 10% of the registered farmers within the study area. Data analysis is based on simple statistics supported by a series of tables showing percentage distribution of variables. The results reveals that the predominant factor causing degradation in the study area is unregulated land consumption. Unregulated land consumption, bush burning, which is in turn leading to land losing its fertility, rise in housing demand, the population explosion. As the population increases, there is rise in the demands of housing. And all these are having resultant effect of degradation on land. While low crop yield, income decline, reduced access to fertile land, among others, are the implication. Crop yield, low crop yield, because the land is losing its fertility, so it's not supportive. The nutrients are not supportive to agricultural practice anymore, so it's leading to low crop yield. Then income decline, farmers, since there is low crop yield, so the numbers and the quantity of produce they are having is not as equivalent to the ones they should have on a normal day when the land is in good state. So because of the overconsumption, overuse of the land, it causes losing of fertility and in turn causing low crop yield. And the low crop yield definitely eventually causes income decline, reduced access to fertile land,
Sorry, accidentally we lost that presenter. Let me quickly take, pending the time I will come back. Let me take Alade FG. Is actually going to tell us re-engineering compensation of employees for improved performance. Re-engineering compensation of employees for improved performance. This is Alade. You can unmute yourself, please. You can unmute yourself, share your video, and make your presentation. You can unmute yourself, Mrs. Salade. If you can hear me, you can unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, share your video, and make your presentation. I love to call Engineer Mohammed. Yeah, you're supposed to present. If you have your paper ready for presentation, you can actually chat me through the chat box. Let me have a message through the chat box. If you be available for presentation today, let me have a message through the chat box, signaling your interest in presenting today. Mrs. Salade, you have been requested to unmute yourself. Kindly unmute yourself, share your video, and make your presentation, please. Thank you. Kindly share your video, please. Go ahead. Go ahead. Mr. Alatuji, you are welcome back. If you can hear me, we'll take you after this presentation. Mr. Alatuji, we are on another presentation. You conclude your presentation after this. Mrs. Salade, go ahead, share your video. Go ahead with your presentation quickly, please. You have 7 minutes. Kindly take note of all the guides we have given earlier. Talk to us, your name, your institutional affiliation, the background of your paper, the state of the problem, if it has, objectives, findings, conclusions, and recommendations. Unmute yourself.
Hello.
Go ahead and make your presentation.
Rearranging compensation of employee for improved performance.
We could not get your name. Can you tell us your name?
Paper. The study, the engineering compensation of employee for improved performance is targeted towards bridging the gap between reality associated with performance and the obtainable, most importantly, the expected role of compensation in bridging the gap. Compensation management is one of the most complex and dynamic issues in the field of human.
Mrs. Salade, you can pause a bit and take this guides. You can actually pause a bit and take these guides. Mrs. Salade, can you hear me, please? Mrs. Salade, can you hear me? Hello, please, can you hear me, please? Mrs. Salade, please, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
From the other, the high inflation rates, which has led to high cost of living, low income and purchasing power can be a reason for poor performance. In order to achieve the needed output level, the Nigerian manager faced an uphill task in trying to fashion out a reward system which does not have to necessarily be totally monetary, inclining to moderate and bring out the best in employee to whom morale will have been affected by the bad state of the socio-political and economic spheres of the country. It is now, however, important to ascertain how a reward system could adequately have an effect in workers' performance. Research questions. These following questions are what the research seeks to find answer to. Number one, what compensation package are available at Armstrong PLC? Number two, what are the problems associated with compensation management at Armstrong PLC? And number three, research question, what is the effect of compensation management on employee performance? Now, the objective of the study, the general objective. The general objective of the study is to determine the effect of compensation management on employee performance. Why the specific
you have
objective
less than 3 minutes to wrap up your presentation. You have less than 3 minutes to wrap up your presentation. Can you please keep to your findings, conclusions, and recommendations?
And challenges associated with compensation management in
Salade,
Armstrong
can you please
PLC.
keep your findings,
Number
conclusion,
three,
and
examining
recommendations?
the effect of compensation management on employee performance. Now I go to the methodology.
Can you skip to your
Questionnaire
findings,
was
conclusion,
admitted
and
in order
recommendations,
to
please? Can you skip to
gather
findings,
data
conclusion,
for
and
this research
recommendations?
purpose. And the targeted population, which is the
I am
entire set.
moderating this. I can't leave her now. We have people waiting to. She doesn't. She's supposed to actually.
This study had an estimated population size of 80, but a sample size of 68 skilled workers were chosen as a true reflection of the population for the study. Statistical package for social science, which is SPSS, is used for the purpose of the study. The statistical tool used to analyze the data includes the following: descriptive analysis using frequency table and percentages. From there, I move to the general challenges of compensation in an organization. Number one, external competition. Number two.
Mrs. Salade, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. I will actually hand you over to the chairman of technical session to make observations for your presentation. Kindly look for a pen and take note of all the observations that will be raised. If you take observations on your presentation now, thank you. I have to observe you here. Thank you. The chairman, please, you can go ahead and make observations.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Alade. I am Dr. Ibrahim Adebisi, the Chief Lecturer in the Department of Accountancy, Federal Polytechnic Ede. The topic of your research is re-engineering compensation of employees for improved performance. It's a very good topic. And I have just few observations to make with respect to the presentation. On the abstract, the current practice is double line spacing and not in italics. Double line spacing, not in italics. I also observed from your presentation that your background and the status of problem. I have to believe that the write-up there is not your own knowledge alone. You must have quoted some authors, but I couldn't see any citation in the background as well as your statement of problem. To avoid what is called plagiarism, I think you need to make reference to those authors that you might have quoted there, that might in the statement there. Then under the statement of problem, you are only concluding and making recommendations. You cannot at this point be concluding and making recommendations. We talk about what led you to that research, that is statement of problem, which you're supposed to say there. So please take note of that, not concluding and not making, you cannot make recommendation there. So you are only trying to tell us the statement of the problem. Under your research questions, you are making specific reference to Armstrong PLC. Even if that's the company where you carry out your research, you don't need to be specific with that research question. The research question is general because the topic there is general. You are not carrying out specific research in that company. You are carrying out research on the re-engineering compensation of employees for improved performance. It's a general topic. And wherever you are carrying out your research, that can be stated in your research area. Also, it looks as if only Armstrong PLC is where you carry out the research. For a robust topic like this, one company is not enough to justify whatever conclusion you might arrive at. So you need to lay your hands on more companies, carry out your research, add more companies, maybe about 5 companies, so that your whatever you carry out would be valid. Under the analysis, if you look at your abstract, you specifically mentioned that part of the instruments you use, or the statistical method analysis you use, is regression analysis. But looking at the body of your research, no evidence of that analysis. And I don't think there is any basis for that justification, any justification for the conclusion you arrive at. You say you are going to use regression analysis, but looking at the paper, you have not used that analysis at all. You have not analyzed anything there at all. So please look at that. You need to carry out the analysis as specified in your abstract, so that whatever conclusion you might have arrived at will be valid. Then the references at the end of the write-up, the gap in between each references is too wide. Please improve on that. It should be double line spacing. This is looking like almost 4 line spacing. What I'm looking at. Please check that and improve on it. Thank you.
Thank you, the chairman. Mrs. Alade, I hope you have taken note of all the observations raised. Kindly note them down, rework the paper in that line, and you can submit for assessment and possible publication in the next edition of our journal. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you. I'll take Mr. Olatunji Daniel. Mr. Olatunji, you can unmute yourself and conclude your presentation you were actually having the other time. You can conclude your presentation now. Thank you. Sorry for that breaking transmission. I guess it was as a result of a technical failure from your end. Exactly. Thank you. Conclude the presentation.
Yeah. In a bid to address the identified problems of this paper, the following policies, among others, were suggested: that relevant stakeholders should enact a long-term policy that will combine policies of accelerated development with programs to conserve environment and its resources, alongside strengthening Development Control Commission, boards, and authority. Thank you. Thank you. I'm done.
Thank you. I think you can take Mr. Olatunji Daniel.
Good afternoon, Mr. Olatunji. I'm Dr. Ibrahim Adebisi, a chief lecturer in the Department of Accountancy, Federal Polytechnic, Ede. Your topic is evaluation of environmental degradation in traditional urban settlement and oversight of sustainable development case of Ijebu-Land. Thanks for the beautiful presentation. I have these 3 observations to make with respect to your presentation. With respect to abstract, supposed to be in double line spacing. Also, your objective is not specifically mentioned here. Even though the statement of problem was mentioned, the general and specific objectives is supposed to be succinctly put and well stated, so that anybody reading the write-up will know what you are actually have in mind. For literature review, sorry, is too scanty. It's not rich enough. Very scanty. All right. You need to improve on it seriously and lay your hands on current journals and articles on the topic. And I also advise you to enrich your write-up. Try to incorporate theoretical framework as well as empirical review. Empirical framework and empirical review should be incorporated to enrich your paper. The recommendation, the conclusion recommendation, please separate and improve on it. Then the references should be double line spacing. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you much, Mr. Daniel. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. I hope you have taken note of all the observations raised. Kindly note those observations, correct accordingly. You can send the paper back for assessment and possible publication in the next edition of our journal, which will be out soon enough. Thank you very much for participating in this conference. Mr. Engineer Aliyu Mohammed, are you here to present a paper now? Engineer Aliyu Mohammed. Engineer Aliyu Mohammed.
Yes, sir.
Presentation now.
Yes, sir. Hello. Hello.
Engineer Aliyu Mohammed, kindly please exercise patience, please. Kindly exercise patience for 1 minute, please. Let me sort something out. Thank you.
Yes. Hello. Hello.
Mohammed, I think your paper is supposed to talk about.
Hello.
Hello. Is that correct?
Design and implementation of a web-based e-library system.
Yes, is that your paper, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and make your presentation. Go ahead and make your presentation.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. I'm Engineer Aliyu Mohammed from Kaduna Polytechnic, and I'm here this afternoon to make a presentation on design and implementation of a web-based e-library system, a case study of computer engineering with my other two colleagues. The outline of the presentation includes introduction, aim and objective, literature review of related world problem, definition, methodology, results, and discussions. Introduction: a library, according to Benon Davis in 2012, is defined as a structured collection of information sources that are made accessible to the people. Library usually holds information physically or in a digitized format. So you can have a library either as a physical structure or in a digitized form. Another definition of an e-library by Sani et al. In 2013 is that it is a set of documents available through electronic means by the use of digital technologies that allow the retrieval, storing, preservation, and dissemination of these documents. Aim and objective. The aim of the paper is actually to design and implement a web-based e-library for the department with the following objectives. Of course, to develop the front end using HTML. HTML is known as the hypertext markup language, and CSS is the cascading style sheet. Of course, HTML defines the font size and then the background. Of course, we use HTML because of its advantages, such as it is a lightweighted programming language. It is easy to use, and every browser supported. Then some of the objectives again is to develop the backend. The backend, that is the database management system using MongoDB. Of course, MongoDB is a document-oriented database with flexibility and scalability. Then we're talking about the development of the layout using PHP. PHP, formerly known as
What is it? It's up to it now. Let's try it. Engineer Ali Mohammed, can we please? I think we lost your audio and video. I think we've lost signal with you. I think we've lost the signal of your presentation. We hope to have you back as soon as possible.
Personal homepage of.
Okay, thank you. We now have you back now. We have you back now. Kindly connect, join the audio, and let us have you again. Okay, you can unmute yourself now. Unmute yourself now. Unmute yourself and continue and wrap up your presentation quickly, sir. Unmute yourself, please.
Okay.
Unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Go ahead, please, clearly.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead, please.
Now. Hello. Can you hear
Go
me?
ahead. Go ahead.
Hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. Now, the methodology includes the development of the front end, which is the user interface, of course, using HTML, then the layout using PHP. We have a block diagram that illustrates the complete system. In this particular block diagram, we're talking about two groups of users. We have user 1, 2, and 3, and then another user known as the remote user. Of course, user 1, 2, and 3 are users that go into the library. The computer systems in the library, they are set up, and then they are connected using local area network, but they are space because, like we said in our problem definition, we're looking at the issue of COVID-19 and some of the measures put in the library with this computer system space. While we are looking, we are thinking of some students might not have, are not be able to access this library or electronic-based library in the library. Then at the other end, we have the remote user. The remote user will now make use of a wireless router at a particular distance, or with your handset or your laptop, you can now go in and then get access from the admin who must have added you to the database so that you can now retrieve information from this library. But it's only the admin that has the power to add information and delete
Engineer Ali Mohammed, kindly skip to your findings, conclusions, and recommendations, please. Kindly skip.
Okay, result, of course, we have the results displayed here. The first slide we have here that shows the result is the home page of the gate. On here we have information such as it provides information such as the background page of the web showing the main gate of the school with information about the institution, student login, and then the frequently asked questions. Then of course we have another slide here showing us the admin login. Here the admin uses his password and username to access the library, add materials, and even add new users. Then of course we have some of the students that were added, their matriculation number, their names, and then their department. Then of course we have the books that were added. We intend to add like as much as 40 or 50 books. Then we have the search engine. Here the students can just click in and then type the title or the author of the book, and easily it will take them to the book and they make use of the book the way they have. Conclusion, the aim of the paper, which was actually to make life a bit easier and books accessible for our students, was achieved. A web-based library system was developed to manage operations such as adding new books and the rest. The different section of the web-based library was successfully implemented, and users were able to access books. And then we recommended that, of course, other facilities such as audiovisual facilities can be added so that programs such as online lectures and the rest can take place there. Then we are thinking of course, hosting it so that it can become internet-based, so that anywhere the student, they don't have to be in the school environment or close to the library before they can access it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Let me quickly hand you over to the man of actually take so that you get observations from him.
Okay, sir.
What's this?
Good afternoon, Mr. Mohammed. I'm Dr. Ibrahim Adebisi, the Chief Lecturer in the Department of Accountancy, Federal Polytechnic, Ede. The topic of your write-up is design and implementation of a web-based e-library, the case study of Computer Engineering Department, Kaduna Polytechnic, Kaduna State of Nigeria. Starting from the presentation, the paper is well researched into, and I believe it's more of engineering work, and your effort is highly appreciated. With this little observation, please take note for further development. With respect to the current development on the upper presentation, that is abstract, supposed to be in double line spacing and not in italics. Double line spacing and not in italics. Then I also observed that you, in your introduction, you lumped together just maybe one or two empirical review. It would have been better after introduction, separate the empirical review from that introduction. That shows the evidence that you have researched into those that have carried out similar experiments in the past. So it will enrich your write-up. Please separate that. Then the objective, your own objective, to succinctly put, it's not well placed here. So let us know the gap that you want to fill specifically. After stating your problem of the BDR, that's very, very important. What you have observed, reason why you carried out the research, and the area, the gap you want to fill, which you have actually seen here, you have actually done a very good job. So let it be reflectable line spacing as well. Your reference at the end of the paper is double line spacing. So with that, if you can, your reference are also, the translation are also current, but you can still put in more effort. They are current, put in more effort. Thanks so much. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Engineer Ali Mohammed, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate
it. I think we'll have to pause here. We'll go on 20 minutes break. We'll be back after the break to take some more papers. Let us go on the 20-minute break and reconvene by 2:45. 2:45. Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll go on the break now. Thank you.
Fat Polly, Fat Polly, Fat Polly a day. Fat Polly, Fat Polly, Fat Polly a day. The citadel of learning where great leaders are made. Fat Polly a day. We are the first among equals, raising great scholars to change the world. leading the way to all-round success. On knowledge, skills, and character we stand. Faithfully ahead. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Faithfully ahead. Vocational skill is our watchword. Proficiency in technical training. Faithfully ahead. Giving the best on technical education. Paving ways for discovery of talents. Diverse training on entrepreneurship. Stand on your feet and rise to the skies. Faithfully ahead. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Faithfully ahead. The citadel of learning where great leaders are made. Faithfully ahead. We are the first among equals, raising great scholars to change the world, leading the way to all-round success. On knowledge, skills, and character we stand. Faithfully ahead. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Faithfully ahead. Vocational skill is our watchword. Proficiency in technical training. Faithfully ahead. Giving the best on technical education. Paving ways for discovery of talents. Diverse training on entrepreneurship. Stand on your feet and rise to the skies. Faithfully ahead. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Faithfully ahead. Citadel of learning where great leaders are made. Faithfully ahead. We are the first among equals, raising great scholars to change the world, leading the way to all-round success. On knowledge, skills, and character we stand. Faithfully ahead. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Faithfully ahead. Vocational skill is our watchword. proficiency in technical training, fetch Polyeden. Giving the best on technical education, paving ways for discovery of talents, diverse training on entrepreneurship. Stand on your feet and rise to the skies, fetch Polyeden. So dear to my heart are you, arise and take your place. You are the best, you are the best, fetch Polyeden. Of learning where great leaders are made, fetch Polyeden. We are the first among equals, raising great scholars to change the world, leading the way to all-round success. On knowledge, skills, and character we stand, fetch Polyeden. So dear to my heart are you, arise and take your place. You are the best, you are the best, fetch Polyeden. Vocational skill is our watchword, proficiency in technical training, fetch Polyeden. Giving the best on technical education, paving ways for discovery of talents, diverse training on entrepreneurship. Stand on your feet and rise to the skies, fetch Polyeden. So dear to my heart are you, arise and take your place. You are the best, you are the best, fetch Polyeden. The citadel of learning where great leaders are made, fetch Polyeden. We are the first among equals, raising great scholars to change the world, leading the way to all-round success. On knowledge, skills, and character we stand, fetch Polyeden. So dear to my heart are you, arise and take your place. You are the best, you are the best, fetch Polyeden. Vocational skill is our watchword, proficiency in technical training, fetch Polyeden. Giving the best on technical education, paving ways for discovery of talents, diverse training on entrepreneurship. Stand on your feet and rise to the skies, fetch Polyeden. So dear to my heart are you, arise and take your place. You are the best, You are the best. Fat polyester. The citadel of learning where great leaders are made. Fat polyester. We are the first among equals, raising great scholars to change the world, leading the way to all-round success. On knowledge, skills, and character we stand. Fat polyester. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Fat polyester. Vocational skill is our watchword. Proficiency in technical training. Fat polyester. Giving the best on technical education, paving ways for discovery of talents, diverse training on entrepreneurship. Stand on your feet and rise to the skies. Fat polyester. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Fat polyester. The citadel of learning where great leaders are made. Fat polyester. We are the first among equals, raising great scholars, leading the way to all-round success. On knowledge, skills, and character we stand. Fat polyester. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Fat polyester. Vocational skill is our watchword. Proficiency in technical training. Fat polyester. Giving the best on technical education, paving ways for discovery of talents, diverse training on entrepreneurship. Stand on your feet and rise to the skies. Fat polyester. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Fat polyester. The citadel leaders are made. Fed holy Eden. We are the first among equals, raising great scholars to change the world, leading the way to all-round success. On knowledge, skills, and character we stand, fed holy Eden. So dear to my heart are you, arise and take your place. You are the best, you are the best, fed holy Eden. Vocational skill is our watchword, proficiency in technical training, fed holy Eden. Giving the best on technical education, paving ways for discovery of talents, diverse training on entrepreneurship. Stand on your feet and rise to the skies, fed holy Eden. So dear to my heart are you, arise and take your place. You are the best, you are the best, fed holy Eden.
Everything, everybody have.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. So that's 20%. I think.
Mr. Alatibe, can you please hear me? If you can hear me, you can give a note, please. Mr. Alatibe, if you can hear me, give a note, please. You cannot hear. Mr. Kolade, you can unmute yourself, please. Are you ready to present your paper now? Are you ready to make presentation now?
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Are you ready to make presentation now?
Yes, I'm trying to share my slide if to work.
It will work, but kindly let me state this before you share your slide. Your paper is titled Impact of Foreign Trade on Nigerian
Economic Growth.
Is that correct, please?
Yes, sir, from the range of 2010 to 2019.
You didn't put that too?
No problem, sir. Thank you, sir.
You can share your slide now, please. You can share your slide and talk to your paper for the next 7 minutes, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Hello. It's not showing. Well, good afternoon, sir.
You can share us your video. Share us your video and actually continue with your presentation. Share us your video and continue with your presentation. You have 7
thank
minutes.
you. All right, thank you, sir. I have issue with sharing my.
No problem about that. No problem about that. You can go ahead and
impact of foreign trade on Nigerian economic growth. And the study examined the efficacies of foreign trade on the growth of Nigerian economy within the range of 2010 to 2019. And the study makes use of ordinary least square techniques was used, and we discovered that there is a significant effect of import trade exchange rate and export on the growth of GDP. After that, we discovered that there is a problem in the economy, especially on the issue of business. At least this was recommended that the policy was aimed at addressing some of the constraints that is preventing the business people to perform in Nigeria because of the infrastructure. You can see that one in. And under the introduction, we can see that foreign trade plays a lot of vital roles in the growth and the development of an economy. And also, we have the concept of foreign trade. And under the theoretical review, the paper makes use of classical period theory, post-classical period theory, and post-classical growth theory. And we have some people that have done one or two things on the paper, the empirical review by Somabiola in 2014 or 2013, and some of people's like that. For the methodology, the purpose of the study makes use of external factors research designs, designed to carry out an empirical investigation on the subject matter, while the OLS, that is ordinary layer scale method of analysis, was used. So let me just go straight to our findings. And under the discussion of findings, we discovered that the study or the research established the impact of trade on economic growth in Nigeria through the impact of some variables associated with international trade, such as export trade, exchange rate, and import trade that have effects on economic growth. And the finding discovered that there are some things that needed to be done. This to make the growth of the Nigeria to be workable. And while we move to our recommendation, we discovered that there is inconsistency in the fiscal policies, and this should be avoided. And also there are some policies in addressing the constraint that is preventing the business people that is coming to establish their business in Nigeria, such as poor infrastructure, such as electricity, power supply, public water supply, roads. We can see that roads are bad, railways, seaports, airports, and some other things like that. And also, there are presently the dangerous stage of insecurity that is preventing them to come and invest in Nigeria. And these are the recommendations that if government can just take care of this thing, that we can see that the foreign trade will come to Nigeria, and at the same time, the economy of Nigeria will have to pick up again, and we should be smiling again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Akinlukula. Let me, on this note, actually hand you over to the chairman of the technical session for comments and observations.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kolade.
Good afternoon, sir.
Chief Lecturer in the Department of Accountancy, Federal Polytechnic Ede.
It's time meeting you again, sir.
Beautiful presentation.
Thank you very much.
Very okay. And it's a good area for research. I also appreciate the extent of research that you have already carried out on it. And most especially the analysis that you have done. However, I have this little observation.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Your abstract, in line with the current practice,
All right,
supposed
sir.
to be double line spacing and
Okay, sir.
not in italics. Double line spacing and not in italics.
All right,
Not
sir.
in italics.
All right, sir.
So that is that.
Current.
I also observe that the statement of problem is not well stated.
Okay,
No
sir.
problem, statement of problem, which is very, very important. That will enable everybody to know the reasons for carrying out the research, the gap you want to fill.
All right, sir.
And I could see that you have actually carried out analysis and I expect the analysis carried out to be reflected in your abstract. Not
Okay,
only
sir.
that, to have a robust results. This is
Okay,
supposed
sir.
to have been backed up by research questions,
Okay.
the objective to be well stated, and hypothesis formulated.
And the hypothesis is all right, sir.
I could see from your analysis you are talking about rejection of null hypothesis. I expect that hypothesis have been formulated earlier on.
All
So
right,
that
sir.
when you are doing the analysis, then you refer to the hypothesis you have already
The
formulated.
hypothesis. All right, sir.
Start questions, objective to be succinctly put, and the hypothesis to be formulated to back up the analysis. Is okay, it's okay that it should be backed up by that hypothesis to be formulated earlier on. The references also supposed to be in double line spacing.
The network
That's
just
the
went
current
off.
the reference at the back of the back of the right top.
Okay, sir.
Double line spacing. That's the 7th edition of APA. That's the current
Okay, sir.
edition.
Addition.
So, also expect that you improve on the references. Most of the
All right,
references here seems to be old. And
Old, all right,
I'm
sir.
sure there are
Current.
scholars who are carrying out research currently.
On,
So
all
please
right, sir.
improve on that as well.
All right, sir.
Once again, thanks for the beautiful presentation.
God bless you, sir. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, sir. Kudos to the School of Business. God bless you, sir.
Sir Kolade, thank you for that presentation. You can, I
God
hope
bless
you
you.
have noted all those observations. You
Yes,
can
yes,
actually
yes.
make corrections, then send your paper back for assessment and possible
As-
publication in the next edition of our journal.
All
Thank you
right,
very
as usual, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
I think I have Mr. Yusuf, Mr. Adeyemi Yusuf. Mr. Adeyemi Yusuf, sorry, please. Are you here to present your paper now, Mr. Adeyemi Yusuf? You can unmute yourself and give response to what I asked earlier, please. Are you here to, will you make presentation of your paper now? You can unmute yourself and give me a response, please. Mr. Adeyemi Yusuf, kindly unmute yourself and give a response whether you are ready for presentation now, sir.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead, please. Will you be making presentation of the paper now?
No, I'm scheduled for tomorrow. I'm only watching.
Okay, and you are prepared for tomorrow, please.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll wait to get ready for you tomorrow for your presentation. Thank you. Mr. Madu, please. Okay. That man is trying to connect. It's coming up. Was I didn't go to mention. Daniel. Good afternoon, please. I think we could not get connections from Mrs. Gia from Mubi. It is on this note that I would like to draw the curtain for today's this afternoon's technical session. I want to appreciate all of us who have participated from far and near. I wish us fruitful deliberations tomorrow. Let us not forget that tomorrow morning is our last technical session, as well as the closing ceremony of this conference. Let us all be here to grace the closing ceremony session and the last technical session. So let us be here on Zoom to grace it. And do not forget as well that all certificates will be issued in the course of the week, and the templates for the papers and the names will be sent on our platforms for you to make corrections on your names or titles as you deem necessary. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate the chairman of technical session, Dr. Ibrahim Adebisi. Is a former director of academic planning and a chief lecturer in the Department of Accountancy. I want to thank the Dean School of Business Studies, Dr. Teo Adebayo. I want to thank the chairperson, Mrs. Charlotte Uyilekon, for being with us on Zoom since morning. I want to thank Alaji L.A. Uibamiji the Treasurer of Research and Publications Committee. I want to specially thank the Dean Student Affairs, the immediate past chairman of this committee, for his wonderful chair on the technical session in the morning. Thank you so much. Thank you all. God bless you. I want to thank Mrs. Olubato, Mr. Bankefa, Mr. Maduru, and all other members of the committee. I want to thank the management of the Polytechnic for giving us an enabling environment to thrive and to host the conference of this magnitude. Thank you all. God bless you. I don't know who will thank me now. I want to appreciate all participants who are here on Zoom. You can all unmute yourselves so that we'll greet each other. Mr. Igbilola, Engineer Al Hassan, Mr. Alatikwe Stephen, Mr. God Abiodun, Engineer Mohammed Ali. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Thank you. I appreciate
it.
Thank you very much.
Be expecting your participation tomorrow for the closing ceremony and the last technical session of this 2020 19th Annual National Conference of the School of Business Studies, Federal Polytechnic Ede, Osun State, Nigeria. Thank you all. God bless you. We'll meet tomorrow. We'll reconvene tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
For the last technical session by 9 o'clock. Will be available from 8:45 as usual. Thank you. God bless you. Good afternoon.